how do you work alongside medical professionals to provide a comprehensive care for the patient?
Absolutely. So, what we say is that we are a part of the support system. So, you may have your spouse, you may have your mom, your sibling, your friend. We're that next person, or if you don't have them, we're your person. And we stand in the gap between you and the medical professional. And so we're not there to check you, to say, hey, the baby's coming out and help, but we're there to say, hey, mom, how are you feeling? Breathe this way. The term they just used means this. What they're saying is this. And then on the medical end, they may say, well, this is what we want to do. And mom is saying no. And I'm saying to them, well, mom's preference is this. Are there any other alternatives? How can we both satisfy both needs at this time? So we're true advocates in the sense, and ensuring that, especially here in Southwest Georgia, where there's a lot of disparity in maternal health, building that trust with both parties, saying, hey, we are both here for the same reason, to have a healthy baby and healthy mom at the end of this labor and delivery process.
And that's especially here in the United States, especially with Black women, that's really integral. Because I went to, you know, I went to school in Tallahassee, so I'm not, I know exactly the area that you're at. So yes, the doula services, as I'm learning more, is really integral to that bridge of communication between the provider who has their sense of what medically needs to be done, and the mom and her family was like, no, 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 this is my expectation. This is what I want. Um,
Yes.
but
Yes.
that's a really integral service. From your perspective, how does language and communication in a medical setting impact a woman's birth experience? And are we doing enough to ensure mothers feel heard and respected in those spaces?
Well, I can say this. Here in Georgia, we have one of the highest maternal mortality rates in the US. We've had 24.5 deaths per 100,000 live births. So there's opportunity there. So that's telling us there's work to be done, there's support. We need to bridge that gap. Specifically with Black women, we're 3 to 4 times more likely to die with pregnancy related causes. And so I truly believe that the work that we're doing is essential. Let's give an example of a C-section or cesarean. You're 39% lower chance of having one with the doula. Why? Because we're there to help you with your breathing. Before we even get to the labor process, you're educated, you're informed, you feel like I am in control of this. And then during the actual labor and delivery, we're alongside you, we're massaging you, we're setting the atmosphere, whatever that might mean for your practices and your beliefs, right? Then we're also alongside the doctor saying, hey, doc, if it is okay, instead of my patient or client being on their back, maybe we try another position. Maybe we roll on this side. Hey, we might even bring the ball with us there. Maybe could you pull out that mirror? Maybe her anxiety will decrease and her blood pressure will decrease when she sees that she's actually advancing. Pull out that mirror, just pulling out some tricks and to really ease the tension in the atmosphere. And I always tell my clients that, remember, you're not the only patient in that hospital or that birthing center. And so at the end of the day, it's like a number, it's pecking order. However, you have me. I am dedicated to you. And to me, that relieves a lot of the stress and anxiety. Also, having a doula, studies have shown that it lowers the risk of preterm birth by 22%. So these are real life numbers showing how we definitely can make an impact and change the trajectory of the maternal mortality rate.
Mm. Go to the hospital and you're like, the doctor knows what they're doing. But sometimes it's kind of like, you know your body and you know
Yes.
yourself. And it's kind of like, well, I'm going to put my trust into the system because the system has said to trust it. But sometimes the system doesn't always have your best interest at heart. And you do need an advocate in there to like, no, I get why you're trying to do this, but it's not going to work for this patient.